he's going to get beat, it's going to be on the short run. And truck doesn't fire off the fastest, but once you give it 10, 15 laps, look out, it's going to be fast. So you don't know how these races play out, and that's why sometimes it bites them. Because you got such a fast truck, but it's on the long haul, and many, many times we see these races end with a short run.
Well, you talk about a short run, we're coming to 9 to go here in stage 1. So when these trucks go green, they fire off some laps pretty quick, and with these short stages, it doesn't take long to get through them.
There's our biggest movers early in the going. Matt Crafton up 7 spots, and this guy, Kyle Busch, is up 6, but he's racing his way up toward the top 5. That's an impressive start to this race. We were a little bit surprised early in practice how off his times were, but they got that thing squared away near the end of that practice session, and he's coming.
Yeah, and the thing that I really like about what we're seeing right now is not only Kyle Busch, but really everybody, they can move all over this racetrack. And there's a lot of options when you get into the corner. And when your truck starts to handle a little bit different, you can move from the bottom, you can move to the middle, you can move to the top. You don't have to follow the guy in front of you. You see Kyle use the whole track right there.
He's bringing the back end of that thing all the way up to the very top of the wall. Loses a little bit of time there. That's one thing about Kyle Busch. He's going to get what he can out of it right here, but he knows that there's going to be time to work on this truck. You give it time. He doesn't struggle for very long, especially here in the truck series. He's going to figure it out. He's going to have a moment for his crew chief to work on it, and he'll keep getting faster throughout the race.
Brian Patty, he's an experienced guy. There's nobody with more experience on top of the box. Look at that line. Kyle's right out next to the fence. You said it, Joey. This is so cool to watch these guys maneuver all over this racetrack. And a quick shout out to Gio Ruggiero. We talked about him starting on the pole. He's fallen back to 5th, but he's settled in the top 5, thinking about what his truck needs, what kind of adjustments he needs to go up there and get the lead of this race.
And a lot of times, that's a good thing, Michael. Until you're 100% comfortable, there's no reason to put yourself in a position that you're settled into a nice pace, and I look at that as a positive for a rookie.
Well, look at Kyle Busch here. He's been running the absolute top, running at the wall. Gio kind of takes a little bit of his line there and takes his air, but the truck's moving up. Trucks are moving up, but what I've seen here the last couple laps, Kyle's getting these huge runs down the straightaway. This time it's not going to be as much because Gio recognized it and blocked that.
Kyle Majeski racing alongside Matt Mills. Mills a little bit shaky on the bottom, had to go up around the lap truck. Justin Carroll there in the 90.
I believe he used him as a pick.
Yeah.
Right there.
Roger Bruce got his eyes on this battle as he slides up from the 11th position in that HendrickCars.com truck.
And I have to imagine a lot of these guys are looking forward to the end of this stage. We watch practice. Not a lot of guys ran several consecutive laps in a row to really understand where their truck is. But day to night, that's a big change in handling typically here in Charlotte.
And then also, Joey, when you're Kyle Busch, you have the experience he has. Corey Haim's proven to be special as well. But these guys know how to talk to their crew chiefs to get the adjustments they need to get the truck even better yet.
When you look at the gaps here of some of the faster trucks, we see obviously Corey Heim right there on your screen. He's going fast, a couple seconds in front of Chastain, but Riggs has been able to run down Chastain as well in the long haul. So, Riggs is going to have a little better track position if they have a good pit stop after the stage. And then you may see that rivalry once again with the 34 and the 11.
Yeah, the good trucks have consistently found their way towards the front. And as we saw last week, the 11 of Corey Heim, the 34 of Lane Riggs, you've got Ross Chastain right in the middle of them. But those two trucks of Heim and Riggs, those have consistently been fast trucks, and that's why they run into each other every once in a while.
When you're racing for the win, everybody goes for it, right? You put extra into it, you're going to make the bigger move because winning matters that much, right? Like, second hurts, I know from experience, second hurts. It's really about the win, and drivers are willing to do the big moves, and yeah, a lot of times there's emotions that flare after that.
As we come to the final lap of this stage, we watch Lane Riggs start the final lap here. But Corey Heim has put himself in a position to dominate the second half of this stage. He's done a great job, and as we've seen all year, he's had the long run speed to go along with everything else in that 11 truck. Right through the middle of the racetrack. And Corey Heim is going to come to his 7th stage win of 2025 and his 2nd at Charlotte.
There it is.
Well, it's still Heim time in stage one. Consistent with pretty much everything that he's done this year. We'll see if he can continue it. Yeah, Corey Heim, he was definitely confident as we see the race on the pit road right here.
Really good stop by Caden Honeycutt's team. He was able to pick up 3 spots. I watched the stop right across from us here. They just were smooth down there. I was curious if they were going to work on that right rear fender, but they didn't. They just had a fast pit stop.
Well, Caden Honeycutt takes the lead from Corey Heim on pit road. We'll see how that pans out on the restart when we come back.